Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Memories of DeKalb. I'm Thomas,
And I'm Jane.
and we're here to talk about Rollie Zeider, or Rollie Hubert Polly Bunions Zeidler.
That's right.
Boy. And this is Auburn's professional baseball player, correct?
That's right.
All
yes.
right. Well, what do you have for us there, Jane?
Well, he was born in Auburn in 1883. His nickname was Polly. I don't know why his nickname is Polly. Perhaps one of our viewers can tell us.
Okay.
We have some speculations that it had to do with someone could not pronounce his name Rollie, but I don't know. It'd be wonderful. I'm sure someone out there knows the reason for his nickname.
Rollie, Polly. Sounds pretty similar there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was also known as Rollie Bunions Zeider, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So he grew up in Auburn in 1883, and when he grew up, he worked in a grocery store as a clerk, and he was a pitcher for Auburn's baseball team, which was the Hubs. I'm not sure I don't know the origin of Hubs. Perhaps someone can help us with that as well. Mm-hmm. But in 1905, he began playing with the minor leagues, and he was the most memorable team is the San Francisco Seals. And in 1909, that's out in California, the San Francisco Seals. Mm-hmm. In 1909, he helped lead the team to win a pennant for the Pacific Coast League. And he was doing so well in the minor leagues that the White Sox noticed him.
Oh, wow, now.
And and in 1910, wait a minute, I apologize. We have an endorsement. When he was out there in San Francisco, he was extremely popular, and there was a company that wanted to use him, and he endorsed the OBAC Baseball Player Series, and it was a cigarette company, and there was his baseball card with his number and a little bit of information about him there.
Echo in baseball, yep. Of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they do they still have baseball cards?
Oh, yes, of course, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So this was in 1909 when he played for the San Francisco Seals, and it was a minor league baseball team.
right.
And the next year, the Chicago White Sox saw how wonderful he was, and they bought out his contract with the San Francisco Seals,
Okay.
and they bought out his contract and another player from the San Francisco Seals. And the White Sox paid $5,000 for Rollie and this other guy.
I assume most of that's for Rollie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. And in today's money, that is $166,000 that the White Sox paid the Seals for Rollie and this other baseball player. But it was kind of a
Good
deep...
money.
Yeah, sure was. Because I saw that the average salary for your good baseball player was $100,000.
In today's money?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, the Society for American Baseball Research is where I found that.
So, yeah, how long did he play for the White Sox
The
then?
White Sox was 3 years,
3 years.
1910 to 1913.
Okay.
And when he was with them, he broke a record for the most stolen bases, which was 49.
Oh, wow.
Some sources say 47, but 49 is the correct number, and the record wasn't broken until 1986 by another White Sox player, John Cangelosi. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation of his last name.
Right. But he held that record for 70-some years then.
Yes, he did, for most stolen bases. That's right. And when he was with the White Sox, he got the name Bunions. He had terrible bunions on his feet, and during a pitch, the pitcher spiked his bunions, and he was in terrible pain with that.
Ooh.
And so after that, he was given the name Bunions. And that affected his career with the White Sox after he had the trouble with the bunions on his feet.
So then he ended up with a different team then?
That's right. So in 1910, there was an article about him in the Fort Wayne, Indiana. This whole cartoon is about him, and it's talking about his bunions in there someplace and how good he is at stealing bases. And that was in 1910 when he was first traded to the White Sox in the Fort Wayne newspaper. And then the next picture is from a newspaper in Duluth, Michigan, and that was in 1910. Yes, and that's about how he keeps in shape. He was very famous when he was with the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, so he also played for the Cubs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chicago White Sox. Yes, he was very famous when he played with the Cubs and the White Sox and every professional team that he played with.
So how many did he play with here? We know the White Sox.
Right. He played with four professional teams. One was the White Sox. The next one was a new league, which was known as the Federal Leagues. And he played with that team, which was the Chicago Whales, and also known as the Chicago Federals.
Okay.
And this Chicago Whales team, they were the first team to play in Chicago's Wrigley Field.
Oh, okay.
And while we're here, the next page is an article that he wrote himself that was in several newspapers throughout the country, Michigan, Oklahoma. He was very famous.
Okay.
During the time period when he was with the Cubs and the Whales and the White Sox.
Okay.
And he's in a minority. I believe there were only two during that time period, men who played for three of the Chicago professional league teams.
Okay, so White Sox, Whales, Federals.
Mm-hmm.
That's for like 2 or 3 years?
Yes.
And then
he played about 2 years. Yeah.
And then the Chicago Cubs.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that was another 2 years or 3 years? Okay.
2 years, yes. 1916 to 1918.
And then, so that's all Chicago.
Mm-hmm. That's
And then
right.
One other team?
The Yankees, the New York Yankees.
New York Yankees.
The next one is another endorsement when this time he was still with,
This one says 1914. there,
Right.
So that would be the Federals?
that would be the Federals, yes.
Okay.
And this was a Cracker Jack baseball card. And on a website, I found that this year, this one sold for $408.
Okay.
I don't know what it cost, excuse me, when it was issued. That information, I don't have that. So when he plays for the Cubs, which is 1916 to 1918, the Cubs are in the World Series, which they lost. So they played against the Boston Red Sox.
Boston Red Sox.
In the 1916 World Series.
Okay.
And just for a little bit of informational piece, Babe Ruth was with the Boston Red Sox
Was that 1916 or 18?
1918.
Okay, 1918.
1918. Pardon me. So yes, in 1918, Rollie was with the Sox, Red Sox, White
Or-
Sox.
Chicago Cubs.
Yes,
Babe Ruth was with the Red Sox.
that's right. That's right. Do you
Okay.
want to tell us some things, Thomas?
Oh, well, so he went up against Babe Ruth there and lost there. Was that the end of his career then, 1918?
No, he went back to the minor leagues,
Oh,
and he was the manager of several teams as well as a player.
okay.
And-
That's an interesting transition there.
It
From major
is.
to minor. Okay.
Yes, and he played for the Toledo Mud Hens, as well as the Paris, Texas North Stars, and he was also one of their managers.
Okay. Do we know how long that lasted?
5 years.
5 years?
From 1919 to
Managers?
1924.
Okay. And so 1924 is when he retired. then.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Probably approaching 40? 1880? Yeah, probably 38 or 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's right. So in 1924, he retires from minor league baseball, professional baseball, and returns to Auburn.
Ooh.
And he opens a confectionery in Waterloo. And
Okay.
that's there for a couple of years.
Okay.
Let's see. And then he manages Auburn's new baseball team. It's not professional or
Okay.
anything. And the new team is called Auburn 8 in Line. I don't know why 8 in line. Perhaps someone can tell us.
Yeah, perhaps someone could give us a definitive answer. If I had to think of it, it might have to do with like something with the Auburn Automobile Company and like an engine.
Ah, okay.
That sounds like an yes, Auburn Automobile now with 8 inline engine.
That's right. That's right, Thomas.
All right, yeah.
So the Auburn Automobile Company has an arrangement with the team. They will pay for the uniforms.
Okay.
They will pay all necessary expenses, and the team will be named the Auburn 8 in Line. This is something the Auburn Automobile Company, that was one of the stipulations
Okay, yeah.
that you must, yeah.
That sounds about typical there.
Mm-hmm.
Typical. Okay.
That's right.
Is there
And then after that, he buys Casey's Lunchroom
Mm-hmm.
in Garrett, and
Okay.
that's in 1946, which is on 104 North Peters Street in Garrett.
Okay.
And in 1959, he sold the tavern, and the property is still a restaurant. It's Lalos Restaurante Mexicano.
Okay. So the building still stands there, but
Mm-hmm.
he ran that for 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's right.
Pretty busy, pretty active.
Sure was.
Sounds like he had other stuff there, like he ran for the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
lost.
he did. He did in the mid-1920s. And the tavern that he managed, he renamed to Polly's Tavern, using his nickname.
His nickname there.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have for you today is in 1966, he was inducted into the Fort Wayne Baseball Hall of Fame,
Mm-hmm.
which is now known as the Northeast Indiana Baseball Association Hall of Fame, and it's still in Fort Wayne.
Still in Fort Wayne.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So then the next year he died,
In 67.
right, and he's buried in Woodburn Cemetery here in Auburn.
Oh,
But
good to know.
fascinating life.
Fascinating.
several records.
Several records, yeah.
Mhm.
I do see here that he ran for sheriff, which
Mhm.
is a little funny because apparently he had a couple of minor skirmishes with the law there,
Yes, he did.
including the fact that it was in the paper there, pretty big news that he and his wife were divorcing there.
Mhm.
That was he had more than one wife.
Yes, he had two.
Okay, he had two.
Yes.
So he
Mhm.
divorced his first wife there,
That's right.
and but yeah, had a couple of minor skirmishes with the
Mhm.
law there.
Yes,
Um,
very minor, you know, yeah.
Speeding ticket there, maybe
Mhm.
drunk driving.
Yeah, yeah, minor things.
Minor. Well, yeah, we'll say sure, minor. And divorce, but also ran for sheriff. So okay, and a little colorful there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure is,
Oh wow.
but he was very famous. I mean, they're still writing articles about him in the newspapers all over the country. He's very famous for playing in the 4 major league teams and stealing bases. And
Excellent. Excellent. I'm glad to know about this Auburn treasure there that I haven't really heard about until now there. And hopefully other people will now learn Auburn produced a professional baseball player there. Very significant in the history of the game.
that's right.
Excellent. Well, is there anything else you could think of, Jane?
No, that's it. That's all we have for you today,
All
Thomas.
right. Well, there you go. That's it. All what we have on Auburn's professional baseball player, Rollie Zeider. Tune in next time there. We'll hope to see you again. Till then, have a great day.